I'm in beautiful sunny California, and behind me I have the 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6, and this is exactly where you'd expect that Hyundai and their EV offering would be at its best. So in this video, I'm going to give you my first impressions and review after driving this thing down the Southern California coast of how this EV is doing and is it ready for the mainstream. So you can see the exterior, very striking, very similar to the Ioniq 5. This is a slightly bigger vehicle with a little bit more range, more power, and more flexibility on the options package. I like the design. You guys can tell me if you like it or not. Honestly, it does look futuristic. I like what Hyundai's done with their design principle. You can see the front end, also very striking, very nice. And this model is optioned out. This can go ahead and get you up to 362 miles of range with the extended battery version, about 614-ish kilometers. So lots of range, lots of available options for this, and lots of power, over 300 horsepower on this vehicle. Now the question is, this is again an 800-volt architecture with fast charging up to 350 kilowatts is capable on this vehicle. How does it do in California? I'm gonna give you a little bit of my impressions and thoughts, again, because I've been out here with a week with this vehicle on the coast. It's been great, but there are some problems that we've had with it in using it, and honestly it gets me to be hesitant to use an EV as a daily driver, because this is where I'd expect this vehicle to do its best. We're in California, it's sunny, charging infrastructure is there. This should all be good, but it's not necessarily the case. But let's start with the exterior. Look, I do like the exterior here. I have the key in front of me as well. Very basic kind of key fob. So here you can see the silhouette. Again, striking design. The rear, you come up to the rear, you're gonna see these beautiful headlights, and I'll show you some other shots of that as well. A lot of people don't like this rear. I like it. I think it actually adds a really unique element to this vehicle. LED lights across the entire thing, I think looks really sharp. So let me take you to the inside a little bit to talk to you about how it's actually like to drive. So I'm gonna go ahead, get in the vehicle here. So let's pop in. So again, it's very minimalistic. I got the key in my pocket. I'm gonna go ahead and hit start. Two 12.3-inch screens in the interior. I like that. That's very nice. One downfall of this in the infotainment system is that wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay is not available. You have to plug it in with this USB wire. I really wish it was wireless. You guys know in my 2023 Lexus NX350H, it is wireless, so I'm a little bit shocked about that. But take a look at the interior. Very futuristic, big kind of area to hold the door here, door handle. Little bit of a design element here, the vents all here, very basic steering wheel, you can see. Interestingly, the drive mode here, other selections are available here. Now you'd think that this is turnable, but it's actually not. You select this and you go into sport mode, eco, normal, that's all here. You can see in this model 263 miles of range is the total charge of this. If you get the long range battery version, you get up to 360 miles, over 600 kilometers of range. So that's available. But you can see, again, very minimalistic in here. Very similar to the Ioniq 5, very similar to a lot of EVs. You do have some tactile controls and buttons that I like. So all of that is here for your HVAC system. So the shifter selector is a little bit weird, right? So you have this kind of stock here. If you want to go into drive, you pull it up. You want to go to neutral, bring it down. If you want to go into reverse, bring it down again, and you're into reverse. And then you press this button to get into park. Cool. Now, I will say I'm a little bit disappointed in this model. The fact that in terms of the camera system, it's only got a rear camera. No 360 camera in this version. That's a little bit of a disappointment. Just thought I'd call that out. I wish there was more there. It does have a wireless charger here with NFC connectivity, one USB port, two cup holders. The door windows are actually controlled in the center console. A little bit weird. I can't tell you the amount of times I went over here trying to figure out where's the button. And I'm like, oh, wait, it's just right over here. Little cubby for the key. You can go ahead and place there. And then more room in here for my Lay's chips. And two USB-C charging ports are available there. Now, one of the biggest things that I found in this interior that's been really, really nice is the back seat. So I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. But there's a lot of room in this interior. Like a lot of room, and you're gonna see that. Look behind me. I have my baby seat here. I have a full luggage here and my laptop bag there, and there's more room. That's insane to me. And this seat is not even put up a lot. So there's even more room available. There is more room here in this Ioniq 6 back seat than there is in my Lexus NX350H. That's insane. That's honestly a lot of room in here. I'm very, very impressed by the interior space. I think that's the biggest thing me and my wife called out is like the inside, the interior of this cabin on this Ioniq 6 is absolutely massive. Just absolutely huge. So no camera system here, just a regular mirror. I kind of would have expected that, to be honest with you, and it's just not available here. You do have, again, the ventilation here, glove box, little glove box in there. That's fine. Ioniq 6, and then the door and the passenger seat. The interior lighting on this vehicle, I have to say, is very nice at nighttime. Maybe I can show you some shots of that. It does look really pretty. And down below here, you can see kind of the adjustments for the mirrors, the traction control off, trunk, release, charging, illumination settings, parking brake, emergency brake, all there. And then, of course, everything else in here. I'm going to post a video on the Highway Driving Assist 3 that Hyundai has. Really, really great. I've been using this on the Highway 101 and Highway 1 here down in California, and it's stunning. It's really, really strong. I, again, just wish it was a full vision system like the GM Super Cruise technology. It's not, but it doesn't ask me to touch the steering wheel as often as, let's say, my Lexus. It will ask you to touch the steering wheel once every about minute and a half is what I've been guessing at. So that's a lot better than the Lexus, for example, but not as good as, let's say, GM Super Cruise. So that's something else I'd call out. The other cool thing is they have a huge cubby down here. So there's a lot of space down here for you to go ahead and put your bags or whatever else you may have just all in there. That's really good. So yeah, the interior, simplistic, not too much going on. Let me take you to the back before we actually talk about the driving experience that I've had. So let's get into the back here. You can see, again, there's a lot of room here, guys. Like, a lot. I'm 5'9", 170 pounds. There's a ton of room here. Look at all this leg space. And I drive really far back, and I have a lot of leg space here. A lot of headroom. I'm 5'9". You can see lots of good room here. And just look. Our baby can fit here perfectly with the car seat. I have a luggage behind the baby seat, and I have my laptop bag beside that. There's a ton of room here. That's really impressive. Again, I could not do this in my Lexus NX. And this car, you're able to go do that. So the rear passengers actually have a lot of room. That's excellent. So a little bit of cubby storage here, some more storage here if you'd like. More storage here. You can see I have some of my daughter's shoes and baby bottle stuff. Vents, 2 USB in addition to the 2 USB in here as well. More cubby storage in here as well. So the other thing I'll call out, unlike the Tesla Model 3 where the floor sits kind of high, right? And you're kind of sitting in a weird way. The floor here is more normal, equivalent to, let's say, an internal combustion engine vehicle. So more normalized here on the floor. I really appreciate that. And again, pretty roomy. I like this. Now, there is no way for me to go ahead and actually lean the seat back, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but it's not expected. So you can see, like, look, I'm 5'9". I still got tons of room back here. So it's quite comfortable back here. But look, outside of the exterior and in the interior, I got to be honest with you in the driving experience. And this is why we personally chose to get a hybrid. And this entire experience over the last week in California driving this vehicle kind of just solidified that decision for us. It's like, every time we had range anxiety with this vehicle, even with the range, right? 263 miles on this version, 363 miles on the fully loaded version. Absolutely, that's great. The problem is the charging infrastructure, even in California, I felt like just wasn't reliable. I had to spend time, again, if you follow me on my social media, waiting in line for the public charging infrastructure, right? Which was just a huge pain. I spent 45 minutes waiting to get into a charging station. Number one, Electrify America, the charge point chargers are just terrible. The charge point chargers, which are the majority of chargers that I was able to find, were charging this vehicle at 7 kilowatts per hour, which is super slow, like unbelievably slow. We were at the Monterey Aquarium. We charged somewhere there. We spent 6 hours there, and I probably got like around 30% of charge, something stupid. Like, it's not reliable. And we just felt like we were wasting so much time in thinking about where to charge this vehicle. Even when we went to the Electrify America, where it's supposed to be up to 350 kilowatts per hour charging, and this vehicle, under the 800-volt architecture, can support up to that, we were not getting those charging speeds. I was at a charger, 350 kilowatts available. It's sunny California. It's 20 degrees Celsius, and it's not charging up to there. The most I got in my entire trip here on the highways here for the week that I spent in California was about 157 kilowatts per hour maximum peak charging. And yeah, look, at that speed, I was able to fully charge the car in about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, that's fine. But still, it's just like it was a gamble each time. Even though it was available, would it charge up to that speed? I don't know. Even if it's not available, I have to go wait in line to get charged up. It just made the experience terrible. So like, if you're renting a car, you're going on a road trip, electric is not the thing you want to do. Honestly, my wife is just like not happy about the fact that we got an electric vehicle, and it made the road trip a little bit more complicated for us. Honestly, it just felt like range anxiety was a thing. And look, I'm all about new technology. I'm all about EV. I don't want to hear the Tesla haters or all the EV people saying, oh, Sonduren, you're such a hater. You know, you're not doing it the proper way. Look, I'm telling you the truth. I was wanting to go get a full EV vehicle. The Ioniq 5 was one of my top vehicles that I wanted to get for ourselves personally. I just couldn't do it. Especially in Canada, when you don't have that charging infrastructure, it's cold, the problem gets even worse. If EVs do not work in California in this climate with the infrastructure that you guys have already, where is it going to really work effectively? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying for the people with the proper use cases that it doesn't work. It does, absolutely. I think for people that are traveling, right, on a rental car, terrible. Absolutely terrible choice. Get a gas vehicle, please, or a hybrid vehicle, terrible choice. If you have a specific need, you live down here, you know, your commutes are short, whatever, you have a home charger, level 2 charger, sure, that can work. But again, for EVs to actually be fully adopted in the mainstream, this is not going to work. Honestly, it just hasn't worked for us. I'm very excited to go back to my hybrid Lexus vehicle. It's just not ready yet, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, this is not to say the Ioniq in its class, the Ioniq 6 is not good. This is a great EV. Now, it's not as powerful and peppy as the Tesla Model 3s that I've had, the standard range. It's maybe not as luxurious as I would hope for the sticker price of this vehicle. But with all that said, I think Hyundai did a great job with this offering. The Ioniq 6, I think, is a really good attempt again after the Ioniq 5. I think it's great. The problem is, if I was looking to buy a vehicle today, would I choose this vehicle over the hybrid options? The answer is no. The answer is just simply no. Even with all the benefits of this vehicle, I love it, but still has lots of shortfalls. Like, a lot of people will think EV vehicles, fully EV, must be the most technologically advanced. That's not the case here. Where is my wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto? It's not here. Why? Why? It should be in this vehicle and it's not. That's kind of disappointing. There are some other things, again, in the interior. It's a bit cheap, of course, for this vehicle price. I understand you're getting a full electric EV. That's what the expectation is of the market, but you can get a much better version, a much better vehicle, I think, is a hybrid option that gives you a lot less kind of problems, especially if you go with a Toyota or a Lexus vehicle. And I know a lot of people will say a hybrid, you're bringing both of these worlds together. The pros are there, but then the cons are there. I don't think the cons are as relevant, to be honest with you, with a Toyota or Lexus vehicle. I don't think you have that much maintenance requirements at all. So look, I think Hyundai, in wrapping this up, is a great EV offering. I think they've done a great job. I think it's definitely a competitor to Tesla. For those that are looking for an EV, for those that have the appropriate use case that you can go ahead and say, this will work well for my life, you should really consider this vehicle. I think it looks great. I think it drives really well. And that's the other thing. The drive on this vehicle, I didn't talk too much about that. It drives really well. It feels super planted, and that's a common thing with these EVs, where all the weight is at the bottom of the vehicle, going through the turns on Highway 1. Amazing. I felt really responsive. So they did a great job on making this car feel like a great driver's car. All the props to them in the world on that. I just think we're not ready yet for the majority of people's use cases for this to become fully mainstream yet. And so that's why I'm hesitant to ever recommend an EV unless you're in that specific niche of people where all those right check boxes are there. Then this makes sense for you. But otherwise, I still don't think that we're ready for the mainstream for these vehicles. But this is part of the development for EVs. I think, again, 7 to 10 years, we're going to be at a state where most people, when they're looking to buy a new vehicle, an EV absolutely makes sense. So let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Do you not? Let me know in the comment box down below. Make sure you like this video and make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. Again, if you want more in terms of what this vehicle is all about and capable of, follow me on my Instagram and on my TikTok. I didn't bring all my camera gear here to go do a full video production on this. So this is a little bit of a scrappy video I made, but I just wanted to give you my first impressions on like taking this EV for a week in California, how it is on a family vacation. And quite honestly, it's been cool to have it. But would I do it again? No. I would take a gas or hybrid vehicle any day of the week. It was just too inconvenient. The charging infrastructure, again, was just too unreliable. And it kind of ruined a lot of moments in our trip. Honestly, we spent a full day on a beautiful sunny day in the evening where we could have been chilling by the beach, watching a beautiful sunset. We spent 45 minutes waiting for a public charger to open up, and then spent another 30 minutes waiting for it to charge, and then the sun was down, and that was it. My wife wasn't really the happiest with that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.